Welcome everyone to this new video. Today we are going to prepare the easiest pizza that you can make at home. And in order to make the pizza, we will use my website with a calculator in it. If you haven't done yet, I suggest you to subscribe to this channel in order to receive notifications when new videos are published. I'm switching now to show you the website. So this is my website. It's called bakingwiththeory.com. We are in the English version. There is also a section in Italian. Now, the main concept of the website, it is represented by the logo, and everything is described here in the welcome page. So practically the logo has a recipe, and from the recipe we are passing through a calculator to make the pizza, our final product. This is all the concept of the website. Now I'm going to the section pizza, and I'm clicking on pan pizza. Now you can notice there is the page for the pan pizza. This one is the recipe. The recipe starts always saying that if there are some terms that they are unknown, there is a glossary of terms, okay, that can be read. Then there is some description. In this case it is saying that when it comes to pan pizza, probably the best known is the Roman pan pizza. In Rome this is sold thin and crusty for traditional, and it's called also scrocchiarella. That means that it makes crack sounds when you bite it, because it's crusty. It can be higher for the modern or the gourmet version. Now, the best trace materials for the cooking is called the blue iron. So I'm suggesting over here which materials to use. But if you don't have, you can use any tray with oil, or you can use even the baking paper. Over here there is a section with some pictures. You can have a look of those pictures. And then there is the section with the theory. Now, the theory is something that you don't need to remember. It is only to inform you. I'm saying here 70% of hydration, 2.4% of salt, and 3% of oil. This is basic theory. Then I'm saying also for the flour to use plain flour for fast procedure, or a pizza or bread flour for longer fermentations. There is also a tip. You can make a blend adding 10% of durum flour or wholemeal flour to enrich the taste. I mean, it's not something that you have to do, but you can experiment with it. Now, the procedure, in this case, at this moment, there is only one variant. In the next future, I will add other variants. I'm saying at least 3 hours. With the calculator you can adjust the time. My suggestion is don't make it less than 3 hours. Otherwise it will require too much yeast and won't become a good product, in my opinion. But it is my personal opinion, okay? Now the procedure is quite simple. It is kneading, folds if needed. Then there is the puntata. And the puntata, in this case, it is saying in the oiled container with a lid until it doubles in size. This part I will show you when we will make the following part of the video. Then there is the staglio and the apretto. If those information about puntata, staglio, apretto, those words are unknown for you, once again, you can check the glossary of terms, or you can check even my videos, because I covered that basic names in my videos. You will find one specific for this. Then, the cooking part, it is in a static oven with 250 degrees, I'm considering the maximum, and we put at the bottom of the oven, so not in a grill, but actually touching the bottom of the oven. And I suggest at the beginning just with tomato sauce. Then eventually we add the mozzarella to complete the cooking, and we move the tray to a half hay grill. Now this one, it is the recipe. From the recipe there is a button, as you can notice, that is moving all this information to a calculator. When we go to the calculator, it's opened in a separate page. Now, the calculator, there are some information that they are coming from the previous page. Remember, you can adjust those values. So, I mean, if you want less hydration, you can change it. And there is no button to refresh. Automatically, when you change the values, it will recalculate the totals. In this case, for the tray pizza or pan pizza, my approach is a bit more scientific, okay, and more mathematical, if I can say that, okay. So I start with saying how many trays of pizza I want to make it. So I start adding a tray, and as you can notice, there is a different shape. Let us say that I have a rectangular shape, and that is 30 by 40 centimeters, and I have one of it. Like, for example, I have two. Then I can decide if I want low, normal, or high pizza. So behind the scene, what is happening here is it's calculating the area of the rectangle, and so it is multiplying 30 by 40, and then it is multiplying for a factor. In this case, the factor is written between parentheses. It is 0.5. What does it mean? It means that it's the amount of dough that we want for every centimeters square of the area of the tray. So in this case, we are saying that we want 0.5 grams for each centimeter square. So in this way, we are saying exactly how much dough we need to prepare. If I want to make it low, as you can notice, it is less. If I want high, I can make more. But for example, I could decide that I want to make in one go one normal and one high with the same size. Okay, as you can notice, I can add this and I can change. The information that you're finding here, it is the dough weight per tray. That means that if I change the number of trays in 2, it's not changing this, because this is saying that when I make the staglio and I need to scale actually the dough, I know that for one of this tray with this size, I will need 600 grams. This is just to make an example, okay? You can use a square or rounded shape. Now, the other information that this calculator is requiring are the room temperature, because of course you cannot know what is the room temperature in your house. Let us say that at this moment in Malta it's super hot. Let's say that we have 30 degrees. And the type of yeast that we want to use, I'm defaulting the dry because it's complicated. It's difficult to find the fresh yeast, but if you have a fresh yeast, just clicking this, okay? When you fill up all mandatory fields, automatically will appear the numbers in the calculated parameters sections. So, what is this calculated parameter sections? If we have a look, now I'm going to simplify a bit the calculation, okay? So let us say that we have 2 trays of a rectangular shape of 30 by 40 centimeters. Now, 30 by 40, it is 1,200. Divided by 2, that is times 0.5, it is making 600 grams per tray. That means that in total, because I have 2 trays, will become 1,200 grams. Remember, this amount, it is containing everything. It's not just flour, okay? We are saying the weight of the dough. Now, what I did was, I added here a parameter, and by default I'm passing 1% of waste. What is that waste? Sometimes when you make a different number of pizzas, and then you scale them when you make the staglio, you end up having the last pizza a bit smaller than the others, because you had some waste, I don't know, maybe in the container or maybe on the table. So I always add this 1%. So as you can notice, rather than be 1,200, it's 1,212 grams. Those 12 grams is the difference. The hydration is the amount of water. The percentage of salt is coming from the other from the recipe. If you want, you can change this. The percentage of fat is here as well. And now there is the total leavening. Now the total leavening is saying I have 3 hours, and the controller temperature leavening, it is 0, it is empty. That means that all this time will be at room temperature. But if, for example, I put here, let us say that I put 24, and here I put 18. How should I understand what is written here? Means that the total leavening time will be 24 hours, of which 18 will be on controller temperature, and the remaining will be room temperature. Okay? For this recipe, we are making a fast pizza in 3 hours, room temperature, everything. As you can notice, all the information are here. So what is required is that you will have a scale and you will have the products at home. This is exactly the amount, the amount of yeast, water, salt, and fat. And dynamically, if I change any of these values, let us say that I decide I want to make 3 pizzas, boom, automatically it's calculating here. I found really simple this. One more thing that you can do is at the bottom of the page there is this save before share. If you click this button, what is happening is forcing to refresh the page and is moving all the values that we calculated here in the top bar. Now it's not easy to understand exactly what is written here, but all these values are there. That means that if, for example, I copy this one and I want to send to a friend of mine, or I can use even the button here at the bottom saying copy link, or I can share on Facebook, I can share on WhatsApp, Messenger, and so on. The person that will open that link, I'm pasting here the link, automatically will be pointed to that page with the same values that we selected. As you can notice, is exactly those values. If you have any question, ask me in the comment section. And now I'm going to move to the preparation of the dough. For this time, we are not using any specific tool. So you will notice that I decided to buy some trays, the one aluminum, the one that you can use even for single use. And I will use a normal oven at home. And I will make the dough with the method No-Knead. As you can notice, we moved the set in the kitchen. So today is a really hot day in Malta. There are 30 degrees in my kitchen. Here I have a thermometer, here I have a timer, and I printed the recipe with me because I'm using the mobile to record the video. So today's recipe, as I said, is the simplest pizza that you can make at home. And when I described what kind of flour to use, I spoke about plain flour. So today I'm going to use this flour that is of the brand Lamb. You can read clearly that it's plain flour. The American they used to call all-purpose flour. It's exactly the same. For the friends that they are following me from Malta, you can find this flour practically everywhere. So it will be easy to make this recipe. As I said, today I'm not going to use any specific tool. So you can notice the tray, I bought the one that you can reuse from the supermarket. The important part is the sides. The diameter is 29 centimeters. That is used when I set up the calculator. Okay? So, but you can use any size. It's important you know which one is the measurement. So, you can notice that I scaled all the ingredients according with the calculators. And I'm going to put all the ingredients together because this one is called the method No-Knead. Okay? I'm putting all the water. I'm putting the yeast. I start mixing. You can use a spoon, you can use a fork, whatever you prefer. A spatula, literally any tool can be used. I'm not going with my hands inside. What we need to do is just to mix the ingredients. Nothing more than this. We wait that the flour will absorb the water. And I'm adding now the oil and also the salt. Literally the mixing part will take just a few minutes, not more than this. As you can see, there is no structure at this moment, but we don't need the structure because the structure will be created by the yeast and by the time. So I just mixed the ingredients. I'm cleaning all the side of the container. You can see that some of the dough will remain here. That is one of the reasons why I added a waste percentage in the calculator. Because yes, they are small amounts, but if you start considering this and what remain here in the container, that will sum in the amount that I calculated. So now what we are going to do is we're going to use a lid, covering, putting it aside, and here there is a timer that I'm starting, 15 minutes of rest. After 15 minutes, this is the result. As you can notice, there is no structure at all. Now what we have to do is make some folding. The first folding, I suggest to make it inside the container. Then for the following two, I will show you how to make on the table. For this I'm using a spatula, and the goal is to take the dough from the border, from the corner, and keep in the center, like this. And then we turn the ball. Can you see? Just simple as I'm doing. We do it just a few times. Can you see? I'm trying to clean as much as I can the corners. You will notice that more you do it, and stronger will become the dough. That is normal, because start taking some strain. Okay, so practically I have done. It is done for me. I'm closing, and we leave it to rest another 15 minutes. So I'm pouring some oil here on the table, just a little layer. Then I will show you a technique for the folding. Taking the dough, moving on the table. Okay, technique is like this. You take the dough, you seat it, and you fold. You do it a few times until you will notice that it will become a bit harder. When it becomes a bit harder, it's the time to stop. We take it back and we put in a rest for another 15 minutes. After another 15 minutes, this is the result. It is the time to make the last fold. Now you can notice that there is already some structure and the dough is more elastic. So we proceed with the same type of folding that we did before, but before I want to show you another way how to make the folding, just in case you find difficulties to use the first method. So the easiest way is that you take the corner and you put at the center. Can you see? Like we did at the beginning with the spoon, but manually. Can you see? We continue. This is the easiest method that you can use. Don't be worried to touch it. Faster you touch it, less it will be sticky. Okay? Now I change to the second method. Second method is that you take the dough, you sit, and you fold like this. You see? Let me know in the comments if you have any difficulties. Okay? Now, at this moment, what we need to do is this. We need to prepare another container. Or we can wash even the other container, the previous one. We put oil. And what we need to do as well, it is called pirlatura. Pirlatura is we need to close the dough to make a perfect ball. In the sense that when it is raising in a uniform way. As you can notice, I'm doing this move like this, you see? And I'm sealing the bottom. So over here, I'm trying to seal. Can you see? The dough is smooth. It's like that we worked the dough, but in reality, we didn't make that much work. Most of the work was done by the yeast and the time. Remember, this is the method called No-Knead. I'm putting inside the container. Now, if we look at the sides of this container, we are making, can you see from the video? So, we are going to make the puntata until it double in size. So I'm expecting that this dough that at this moment is here will reach this point here. Okay? I mean, I remember with my eyes, but if you have difficulties, you can make even a sign with a biro, with a pen, you can make a sign over here. It must double in size. So after exactly 1 hour, 20 minutes, we have a double size. If you remember, should reach this level. Now, what we need to do is the staglio. In our case, the staglio, in my case, is quite simple because I have to divide all the dough in two parts. I'm going to put some flour on the table. Expand a bit more, and then I put upside down. Because we put the oil, it comes automatically out. As you can see, it's a beautiful structure. Putting some flour on the top. And I'm going to divide into parts. The amount of the dough that you have to put for each tray, it is the one that is written in the calculator. In my case, I'm not scaling, but I mean, I can even scale. It's the same. Okay, what I need to do is, once again, I need to create a ball. I'm doing it like this, or I can use the same method that I used before. You see? I'm pressing and I'm trying to seal properly. Can you see? Now I need a container where I'm putting some oil all around. And the dough will stay inside the container. I will need to cover the container. If I don't have a lid, I can use a plate, or I can use even the plastic film. I'm doing the second one. It's a bit sticky. I'm putting a bit of flour. If you remember, I'm doing exactly like we did for the pirlatura. Is to show you two different techniques. It's the same. Okay, it's important that it will be well sealed. Putting some oil over here. Take the dough, we put it inside. I prepare both of them. I'm putting a lid. So, now, last phase is the one that we call appretto. And once again, we need to do the appretto until it doubles in size. So I'm expecting that we reach this level here. It's the time to turn on the oven. I will show you even the oven settings. So this is a normal oven. It's electric. I'm putting the setup with the resistor up and down, turning on, and the temperature I'm setting to 250 degrees. We leave it to warm until the pizza is ready to cook. If it is warming a bit longer, it's not a problem. Actually, will be a benefit. This time we can start preparing, for example, the tomato sauce. The mozzarella I already cut it, and it is drying because it's better to cut it in advance in order to lose the liquid. Okay, we put some more flour on the table. I already prepared the trays with oil. Remember to put some oil even in the borders. As usual, we put the container upside down. Beautiful dough. Some more flour. And now is the time that we put our finger inside to make some holes. Remember, in this case, the tray is rounded, so I want to still maintain the rounded shape. I remove the excess of flour in this way, and then I put inside the tray. what we need to do in the tray, it is only to stand to reach on the borders. That's it. It is ready. So we just add the tomato sauce, not mozzarella this phase. We pre-cook for around 12 minutes, and then we add the mozzarella after. The tomato sauce I prepare in this way. So I'm using a pulp, so it's already in parts. I don't need to cut, I don't need to change anything. It is 400 grams. So what I'm adding is 1% of salt, means 4 grams of salt. I didn't have fresh basil at home, unfortunately. So tonight I'm using oregano, like they do in Sicily. Putting the tomato sauce. Okay, I like a bit abundant. Okay, I'm moving in the oven, and we will put the pizza directly touching the bottom for around 6-7 minutes. We have to be extremely careful because depending which one is the materials of the tray, it could stick. So I suggest we make 6 minutes now, and then I will check it. So after 6 minutes at the bottom of the oven, what we need to do is we take out the pizza, and we need to be sure that it is not linked with the tray. It could happen at the border. When we are sure that we can lift up like this, we put it back in the oven, but this time not at the bottom, but in the grill. I will continue for another 5-6 minutes. After 6 extra minutes, we take it out and we add the mozzarella. In this case, it's a buffalo mozzarella that I cut a few hours in advance in order to allow the liquid to go out. After putting the mozzarella, we need to put in the oven just for a couple of minutes to give it the time to melt the mozzarella. Personally, I don't add oil at this phase. I will add after, when it is ready. So I'm going to put it in the oven for 2 extra minutes. So when the pizza is ready, we need to remove as soon as possible from the tray, otherwise it will start to become sweet at the bottom. In this way, in a grill, it will dry. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Just a reminder that all the links showed in the video you can find in the description of the video. And if you didn't do yet, I suggest you to subscribe to my channel in order to be notified when there are new videos. Last thing is that I showed some product during this video. I want to be clear with you, this video is not sponsored by any of those companies. So I showed those products because they are valid products, only for my personal preference. Thank you, bye.